In today's video, we're going to share with you how you can choose the everyday carry items you have with you in your pockets at all times to perform magic anywhere, anytime, and how you can choose those properly to make sure your magic is as beautiful as you can make it. So let me introduce you to the guys here. We have Jeff and Rick. How we doing, guys?
Hey, doing great. Glad to be here.
Good, good. You
Doing
guys look
great.
good.
Yeah, good to be back. Man, seems like forever.
Yeah. Yeah, we had like a little bit of like a little hiatus, all of us.
Yeah, summer vacations, good stuff.
And we got this little like summary picture in the background. I think that's where we all wish we went, I guess.
Yeah, right. I did go
But
somewhere like what's behind me actually. But
oh, did you? Yeah,
yeah,
that's
looks
awesome.
like I
How
got
was that?
sunburned. I'm back home in Houston. I went for a run this morning, and this is what happens when you run in 90-degree weather with 100% humidity.
Dang, one day back, man, and you're already burned. That's Texas. That's awesome. Well, good. Well, good. Well, I see we have a few people here joining us. So thanks so much for being here. We got Shiloh in here. Hey, Shiloh, how we doing? Good morning to you. New person here, Tomer. Thanks for joining us here, Tomer, all the way from Israel. So, man, what time is it there? It's like morning to you. New person here, Tomer. I was talking to a buddy from Israel earlier, so it's like a totally different time frame. So thank you for being here with us. Pretty late for you, I believe, right now. So that's awesome. Thank you guys so much for being here. Feel free to put any comments, questions in the comments, or anything you want to say. We love to chat with you guys. This is kind of the structure of these. We're just kind of free flowing, and we have some ideas to share with you today, but about everyday carry. But we hope you'll be a part of the conversation. So. I think first we want to talk a little bit about, you know, what exactly you choose to carry and how that affects kind of your pocket space and how much you're carrying in your pocket. And I was chatting with Rick about this a little while back, and I think he had some really interesting thoughts. You want to kind of get into that a little bit, Rick?
Yeah. So I think what I was talking to you about is a question I had starting out with coin magic that I had trouble getting an answer to. You know, back then, less resources online. Like you had the Magic Cafe, and then all you had was books. So at starting out in coin magic, one of my questions was like, you know, I know this trick and that trick, and I've learned this and that. How do I bring them all together and without seeming like I'm showing one thing and putting that away, and then I'm showing a different thing and then put that away, because that can feel really amateur. Like you've got all these toys and they do their own special thing, and then you bring out a different thing. And so I struggled to find advice on that, and I just, you know, slowly over time came up with connections on my own where things fit together. Now that might have been one routine used the same number of coins as this routine, and so that was an obvious connection to me. Or the same types of coins, like, oh, this routine has a silver coin and a copper coin and another silver coin. Oh, so does this routine. Oh, look, here's a way I can fit them together. And so every day I try to carry as little as possible, but what I can do the most with. And as a general rule of thumb, I would, you know, urge people to see what things we do, what do they have in common, and what can work together, so you're getting the most out of very little.
And I wanted to bring this up to Jeff because you know, Rick makes an interesting point there, talking about he said it kind of feels a little amateurish, and I'd like to kind of hear both you guys' opinion. I kind of why we could tell the viewers, you know, what exactly are we striving after? If it wouldn't be show a trick, show a trick, show a trick, you know, what kind of atmosphere are we trying to create, you would say?
Yeah. Well, I'll touch on this at the very end. That's a really good question that segues into something I want to talk about. But are you saying what makes it not feel amateurish? I mean, can you restate that question?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Rick said a lot of things there. I'm trying to.
I'm sorry. No. I was trying to just unpack what Rick said, and maybe actually, Rick, maybe you could expound on this, and then we can kind of bounce off, because I'm sure we just all have different. That's why I think it would be interesting to hear our different opinions on it. But you said not showing trick after trick after trick would, prevent it from feeling amateurish.
Oh yeah.
So the question is kind of like, what is it that we're striving for environment wise? Like, what do we want to make it look like if it's not trick?
Well, maybe what I can clarify is creating a seamless flow for your audience where they're not aware that you've just shown them 3 or 4 separate tricks that you've learned. It just kind of flows as a performance. Right. So what an amateur would do is, here, I'm going to do this copper silver routine. All right, let me put those away. Look at this coins across routine. Right. And you take out some different coins. It's very disjointed, and like you're showing them, oh, here's this thing I learned, and then, all right, here's this other thing I learned. And instead of coming across as a performer, as a magician, where the magic is just happening. Right.
And I think like people definitely pick up on that. I remember one of my first trips to Magic Castle. I was a young magician, and I didn't know my own place, and I think we've all been there at some time, and maybe you're still there, where like you see a magician do a move and you want to compliment them on that, or you see something they do and you feel like you have the need or knowledge to let your friends know that you're on the end, that you're a magician. And I was definitely that guy. So there was a guy, and I don't want to say his name. He's a pretty well known performer at the Magic Castle, and he was working at a round table in the bar in the corner. And I remember he was just going through trick after trick. I mean, he was just doing his whole entire life's repertoire. He's one of those guys that could just, bust out trick after trick, and it didn't matter. But he, in the middle of a set, he changed decks to do an effect. And it was no deck switch. He just brought out a different deck of cards with a different back on it. And it was a blue back, but it was like a fan back, and the other were bicycle backs. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, okay, you just switched out decks to bring in a trick deck. Doesn't everybody know that? And I'm like talking to my friends, look, he just changed out his deck so he could do this trick. I mean, he wasn't even trying. And I said it out loud enough. I whispered and he called me out on it. He was really offended. Something like, I was just like, really? Like, I get where I was wrong at the time, that I should have not stepped on his performance. But at the same time, it just came across so amateurish because his effects didn't seem to flow together. So he had this big doctor's bag, magic bag of tricks just beside him. He was just pulling things out one at a time. I don't know what his thought process was. I don't remember if he was drinking or anything at the time, as some guys do there when they perform. But his thought process was amateurish, in my opinion. And looking back onto it, even though I was wrong for saying something out loud, I shouldn't have tried to interfere with his performance. That was bad. But also his utility device, his everyday carry was just everything. He just grabbed his whole performance bag and set it next to him and just was pulling things out one after another. And it was not congruent. And, you're there at the bar and people are there to have fun and stuff. And I don't know that it just could have been better, right? I mean, it really could have been so much better. It's not that he wasn't entertaining people with tricks, but it was just kind of, he was vomiting everything he knew all at once, and it was incongruent. And I think it could have been better.
So I think that idea of like congruency is a good word for that. It's kind of creating that feel, because this might be the first time these people have ever seen a magician, right?
It might be the only time.
Right.
I mean, we're around it every day. It's surely, if you're putting a trick in somebody's hand, there is probably a greater than 90% chance. I don't know what the statistic are. If you're putting, as a professional magician, as a real worker, you're putting a trick into somebody's hand and doing the magic right there, it's probably the first time. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, they've seen it on TV, they've seen a kid do it. Maybe their kids have a magic set, but that you've actually stepped and broken down that wall and put the magic in their hands, probably the first time.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure, I mean, tell us in the comments if you have any other thoughts, because I think this can go many different ways. Like some people would say, and I have seen performers who prefer it to just be like a sample of this and a sample of that and a sample of this. And it's not that there's anything wrong with that. It's just everybody has an artistic opinion. We're trying to show you a way to just try to create a more beautiful picture, overall. That where congruency kind of seems like that flows pretty well as making your set flow, and it's not like it'd be like if you went to the movies and just saw trailers, instead of one particular movie that had like a beginning, a middle, and end, and it was something you could retell to people. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I wonder, I don't know, I'm not in the movie business, but is there an art in which order they put the trailers? Like there's a choice of which trailers play before which movies. Right, you're not going to see an R-rated trailer before a G-rated movie, and there's a choice there. But is there artistic flow of this trailer has to go before this one and that one after that one? I don't know.
That's a good question. I'm not. If anybody knows in the comments, let us know, because I don't. Are you into movies like that, Rick? Do you know?
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't really answer that, but I'm sure someone's thinking about that.
You'll definitely see more sci-fi trailers before a sci-fi movie. You're not going to see a rom-com before Star Wars,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's choices.
Right.
So there's choices that are made, and I think those are important. And but I'll tease it till the end. I've got something I think that ties it together.
Yeah, well, can't wait to hear that. I want to point out too, Tomer put in here that it's much more organic when you don't have a magic bag you're just pulling tricks out of, and that's another consideration. What are you going for? I think that's what we're trying to inspire you guys with this live stream today. Just think about your magic and think about what are you trying. I heard a performer say at one time, and this works really well for professionals, but you could kind of consider this as well in if you're a hobbyist or you just performing for friends. What do you want the Yelp review to say? Like, what do you want in the same way? What do you want this person to say to their friends after they've seen you perform something? What is the story? Is it, oh, he did this and this and this and this and this and this and this? Maybe that's what you want them to say. Yeah. Or maybe it's like he did this crazy thing and then it, turned into this, and then it was just incredible, So there's different ways of kind of guiding that story.
And you could successfully pull, every trick out of the bag. Don't get me wrong. I just say there has to be thought process to it. I'm trying to think. He's a stage musician. He does a lot of cruise ships. Is Levant? Has anybody seen him? And he just gets up on stage and he will burn through. He burns through content like YouTube burns through tricks or Instagram burns through tricks. He'll just go trick, 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 trick. But that's his stick. That's what he does. I can't really tell you one thing he did, but I can remember him. So,
and that's the end. That's what's important at the end of the day, Yeah. But I think it's okay. This is how opinions work. We're taking a stand on like we think it's in our personal opinion, it's a better idea to have a consistent flow for the aesthetic beauty and the mental beauty of what you're doing. So,
I think talking about the effect. What we're talking about here is the effects at this point. So we're trying to make the effects beautiful, the magic itself. So
of course, yeah.
These are all things to talk about. I can't imagine we're offending anybody at this point in time. But
no,
we're just talking.
Yes, Pseudo Magician mentioned the story too. That's a good consideration.
Time to offend somebody, Caleb. Let's get the trolls. Man. Trolls show up. We need more.
Stand for
trolls.
Something or you'll fall for anything, right? We gotta. No, but more trolls.
Bring on the trolls.
There's got to be some way to get some subscribers in here. I mean, no. Who was it? I don't want to call anybody out, but who was it that said all publicity is good publicity? I don't know if I agree with that.
Oh, a lot of people said that. Yeah.
But yeah, no, for sure. So, and here's another one. I think it's a sign of a mature performer to have routine the set. So yeah, I think we would agree on that. It's
routine, yeah. Put some thought into it.
Put some plan into it. Yeah, that's kind of what we're talking about here. And so I want to transition now, if we can, in this. What Rick was showing me before was some really cool ideas. I wanted to give you a couple examples, and not that Rick, you don't have to spill the whole bag if you don't want to, but just a couple, maybe an example of one thing that you would consider like a utility item, because you had some really good ideas with like. I put this in my pocket because I can do 5 things with it, depending on the moment, instead of 5 things in my pocket that I might only do 1 or 2, So what do you have to say about that?
Yeah, well, here's something I carry every day. Let's see if
Not carrying it today, huh?
Every day in my other pair of pants.
Rick is working on
very
multiple
good,
cameras. There we go. He's
Oh,
got
man.
multiple camera angles for us.
It's the Mac Daddy setup.
So this is inspired by a trick I was obsessed with for a long time. Cop Sil Brass in Coin Magic, a Jeff Lotta routine. So it's a copper coin, a silver coin, and a Chinese coin or any other odd coin, and then a copper silver in addition to that. Now with this set, I can perform, I don't know, 80, 90% of coin magic. I can do a copper silver routine in the spectator's hand. I can do presto changea. Those work together nicely. I can do a hanging coins routine without the gimmicked coin, just using these.
Yeah.
I have a coins across routine using just these coins, which is really interesting because they're all different. It's very clear when you do a coins across like that.
So basically what you're saying is everything you're carrying, you got multiple bang for your buck. Like you don't have to, I've got this one set that somebody says, can you do it again? I don't have to repeat the same trick.
I've got a spellbound routine or a one coin routine,
Yeah.
And while I've got this view, I've been wearing this the whole time.
Oh, man.
Ouch.
That was awesome. Give us a thumbs up if you like that. That was incredible. Dang, I did not see that coming.
The ultimate utility item that's, a lot of people laugh at, but
so good.
You can do a ton of stuff with a thumb tip.
So good.
So
Dude,
like,
that was great.
Who's that guy? Is it Darwin made a whole career off just thumb tip? Yeah.
Yeah, just with a coin purse and a thumb tip. This is nothing in your pocket.
Yeah. Oh man. It's nothing.
And what's great about
you just showed us, I mean, that was 20 minutes worth of material right there. Bam.
Oh yeah. And some of it's stand up, some of it's close up. Yeah. I mean, and what's great about the thumb tip and like the copper silver is like you can create routines off of that. So it's just like, what I would really call a utility item, because there's so many. I mean, you could even use things in your environment, borrowing coins, borrowing objects to vanish and things like that. There's all sorts of things you could do with that. So that's really smart. By the way, a quick shameless plug. What did you what kind of copper silver is that you had there, Rick?
What?
It was
Let me see again. Let me see.
It looked really good. I just didn't know. Was it a copper silver? I couldn't hardly tell.
That's a silver coin.
That's the Copeland copper silver there.
Dang.
Those guys at Copeland. Wow.
Wow, look at
that. there's that Copeland guy. He's really, I don't know. He's doing something right.
We're trying. We've got, I don't know. I've been on vacation, so I haven't looked at sales this month. I've let Kirsten's been keeping the house in line around here, but we should be probably just a handful left, just 3 or 4 dozen of those left in the different styles. So you might want to grab them before they're gone, because I don't know when. Hoping to get more back in and everybody's favorite styles, but there's some good deals. Thanks, Shiloh. Thanks for the word out there. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to the videos. Hope you guys get out there and perform with copper silver. Share some videos, and we'd love to share them here on the live stream. So it's something we've talked about. We need to.
Yeah, that's another plug. We're just trying to continue telling you about that. Email your. Let's see if I can send the thing. It says for questions, but that's not right. But basically, there's the email right there. Email your routines. You performing copper silver. If you got some new ideas or anything like that, you want us to show on the live stream, potentially we could kind of break down the routine, and it would help everybody to see some other ideas, and see what people are coming up with. Email them there, and we'd be happy to, take a look at them and see if we could talk about them here. That'd be a blast.
And I want to welcome everybody who's new to Copeland Coins. There's been several hundred people this summer. Hundreds. I don't know exactly how many, but well, you've seen the numbers have jumped up here on the live stream as we've tried to take this serious, and the subscription rates have grown about 20%, maybe more. Caleb could tell you. And then the mailing list is up quite a bit of people getting the corner pocket routine for free. So if you're new to Copeland Coins, welcome. This source right here is stuff that we don't sell you. It's just to make you a stronger, better magician. There's no selling points here. There's nothing tangible here in the live stream. And this is for you guys to help you become better magicians. So we just want to welcome you and thanks for picking up the new routine if you have. If not, you can go to Copeland Coins right now and just copelandcoins.com. At the very top, there's a tab that says free magic. Click right here and you can get a completely free routine. We're going to try to keep that running as long as possible. And you can just go check it out. You see what we're all about. And we hope that you'll come back for some of the physical products and you'll get the whole experience of what makes Copeland Coins unique and what makes us such a different brand that you're going to find anywhere else.
Sure. And I want to point out this is another interesting point of our topic. Matthew here is talking, sorry, I covered you up a little bit, Rick.
Hey,
but Matthew here is talking about basically how he utilizes a coins across routine to introduce the coins for his coin box routine that's coming up. And that's another good consideration, I think, with what Rick is talking about. You can utilize utility props like that to, kind of, create vibes, and introduce, okay, these are the coins, and then we're going to use the coins for something else, or introduce the coin box, here's what it is, and then use it for something else,
Yeah, and I mean, every time you go and perform, it's going to be a different adventure, right? You're going to have a different audience. You're going to be in a different environment. Even if you're at the same restaurant week after week, even if you're with the same customers sitting at the same table, it's going to be a different meal on the plate. There's going to be different chemicals running through their brain. Every single instance is different. And so as you get out and perform more and more, you're going to find the opportunities to jazz. And I think that's kind of what Rick is showing there. Like he's got the opportunity. And when something presents or something is said at the table, if your ears are open and you're listening, that something is said, it reminds you of, oh, this trick will fit just right here. When you're walking down the path, when you're performing like we are, close to environments, and it's not just this sealed off, polished stage Vegas show where everything is the same and the jokes are the same, even though they appear fresh every night after night after night, where it's the same exact thing. When you're in the real world working with people and the kind of props that we prepare you with is, the everyday carry items, when you're using those, every conversation, every sentence, every question back and forth opens up a new path in which way you can perform. And so I think what we're trying to say here is, to have items that can work together. And we're not saying don't carry a deck of cards and that cards don't work with coins. We're not saying that at all. We're just saying have items that can, and effects that can flow together and work into your routines, that they can build on each other, that, they can have, somebody just mentioned with the comments, and I'm blanking here, but the idea that you have a routine in mind, you have a place where you want to go, but there might be multiple paths to get there.
Sure. And you know who's really good at that? Garrett Thomas.
Yeah.
Garrett Thomas is a guy who will take one trick, one effect, one utility item, maybe a set of coins or this set of cards or whatever he's doing, and work on it for years and come up with like all these different ways to use it. Because that's another benefit of what we're talking about here is, I'm sure, Rick, by having those coins in your pocket every day, you're coming up with new stuff that wasn't even, written for these coins,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just last year, or maybe it was earlier this year, I came up with a new trick with this set of coins. And I showed you this, Caleb, a few weeks ago. It's kind of got a mentalism vibe, but you chose a coin. I had all the coins in my hand, and then you chose which one, the copper one, the silver one, or the brass one.
Hey, Rick, real quick, just before you explain, could you show it to us right now? Would that work or no? No? Okay.
It'd be better, like, if I had the camera, like, back, you could see the whole toy.
All right. Sorry. Should have asked you.
Basically, it's any coin called for, and that's the only one that remains in my hand.
This is a good trick.
The others jump back to the purse, or you can actually use an Aikido box too.
Wow.
The advantage of that version is they get to see the empty box right before everything happens.
Wow.
So then you put the lid on the box, and then they choose the coin. Boom. It's the only coin left.
Wow.
And
But by playing
yeah,
with those things, yeah.
I just, because I have this
Because you
in my
have it
pocket
with
every
you.
day, I'm playing with stuff. I'm thinking about stuff.
And I think that's the
stuff
importance of having
evolves.
a good coin wallet is it reminds you every day. You can set it right next to your billfold wallet or your keys, however you organize your stuff at home. But I think that's a good reminder is to have a good coin wallet. I know that's so influential for me. That's my everyday carry. You guys didn't ask, but it's my traveler wallet. I have some other things. I've got I've been carrying the Keto Box. This is a brand new wallet we've got in red now for the Keto Box wallets. And so we haven't listed these on the sites yet. If you're interested in one, you can email Kirsten at copelandcoins.com. But these are they hold the Copeland Coin Box, and they're basically an oversized traveler wallet. But and then I've also some other carry things I don't have on me now, but I've got some other colors of Via Hero I've been testing. But this has been with me almost every day when I walk out of the house for like 20 years. This very wallet.
That same one?
Yeah, they are. They're incredibly durable, man.
What?
I know we need to raise the price on these things. They don't seem to wear out. The worst that's happened to me really is you can get a nick or something in the leather. The string can come untied. You know what happens when the string comes untied? You tie it back. That's what you do.
Oh.
You tie it back. They're pretty incredibly durable. So as long as you don't feed them to your dog, but this is Traveler Wallet. And we might be the only store on the internet has them right now. These are wholesale through Murphy's. It is my wallet, but they're out of stock most places. So if you want one, Copeland Coins is the place to go.
That's cool. We need to put a new quote on that site that says like, "This wallet has lasted longer than Caleb's been alive," or something like that. You know what I mean? but I got a quote here from Matthew. He says he wears clothes with lots of pockets, and that's why he loves the Traveler and the Via Heroes, because he can, carry different types of coins in different wallets if he needs to switch or something.
Yeah, they're a great way to identify things. You can do it by color or texture and things like that because every the wallets have different texture and things. Yeah. So
Jimmy, what are you waiting for, buddy?
Yeah.
What are you?
Today's the day.
So this is your sign, Jimmy.
Here's your sign.
No, I'm just kidding. But we're not trying to do pitching here. We're just trying to share a little magic here. So
we'll just let you know. You just read the reviews. We're not a very hard sell. Just read the reviews.
Yeah, and I want to point something out. Stefan, it was back a while back, but he said a really good thing here. If I can materialize and vanish items, maybe why would I need to carry? What I need to carry in the case.
Yeah, that's a good question. Yeah, that's what Blackbird's for.
There you go. See, we have the items for you. Don't worry, we got you. But I just wanted to bring that up because it's another good consideration. It's like depending on your style, depending on the atmosphere you're trying to create. Considering these things, like I think it's Stefan is doing, thinking about what vibe do I want to create? What is the feeling and memory I want to create after this is over? And being able to just do anything and materialize objects, then yeah, it makes sense that maybe you wouldn't have a case, or maybe you would materialize the case or something.
Absolutely, yeah, that's the thing. You can materialize the case. I mean, the coin wallets are very small, and I used to make things appear and stuff like that, but I found, so for me, Stefan, and this is, I agree, right? The ultimate goal of a magician is as an ex nihilo, out of nothing, create something. And so that's what Blackbird was for. If you're not familiar, it's my coin holdout that allows me to get coins into play without ever going to my pockets. And that's what it was a solution for, was I wanted to do that effect. I was making the coins vanish at the very end, like bam, hands are empty, the coins are gone, boom. And my good mentor and friend in magic, Scott Robinson, said, "Jeff, if you're going to end that routine clean, you have to start clean." And I said, well, I don't know how to do that. So I went for a solution. And I ended up basically over the course of a year or so inventing Blackbird, and then going on for several years to try to hone in and perfect that. And then I brought it to the market. And I think it's a really solid solution. So I get that. The thing I'll say about a wallet is sometimes the effect, it's maybe like the movie trailers we were talking about earlier, like the introduction to a movie, or the band playing, the orchestra playing before the concert starts. there's like this little pregame, there's this little interlude to get you kind of interested. And so the orchestra starts playing 5 minutes before the actors take the stage, right? And everybody knows kind of take your places. It's setting the tone for theater. Now, that is a little over dramatic for where I'm going here. But the idea is when I take this out of my pocket, there's an interesting object. The audience says, what is inside this interesting object? And I go on and proceed and I pull out and I have, there's a coin. And what's so special about this coin that came out of this special, interesting object? And now they're drawn in and they're hooked and they're looking and they're wanting to know what's going to happen next. So yes, there is absolutely a time and place for the magic to be boom out of nothing. And that's usually how I open things, honestly, because I open with Blackbird all the time. I do my trick. It's called ring bling. It's one of the effects taught when you buy it. And I use my ring as the interesting prop. I talk about, I get people looking. I usually don't perform at all on these things. So I'm still from that run this morning, get my ring off. But I'll do the thing where I do the Griffin roll and I'll talk about my ring here. And I'll say it's my real wedding band. And then from this, I'll go, boom, produce coin. And then the coins multiply and stuff like that. So it's basically from this very small, tiny object, and then these big silver dollars are appearing. And so that, again, I wouldn't have to use the ring, but that's just my scripting. And then from there, I might bring out the wallet and then say, oh, what's interesting next? Because at this point, the magic has been so clean. It's been from the middle of nowhere. The coins have just appeared and then they're in their hands back and forth. Now, if I want to put the coins back in the wallet or something like that for a place to store them or go to another effect with using one of the coins inside out of the wallet, it's that works for me. That's my routining and stuff, that now I have the freedom. I've proven what I can do. Now I can use anything I want because now all the props are mine and I've shown that I can make these things happen. So that's what's going on in my head.
And in a way that kind of makes, like, that's another way to think about like the utility of an item, because there was one time I heard, and I don't remember, maybe you guys know where this quote comes from, but somebody said magic is like all about the transitions. And it was kind of that idea. I mean, if you think about a stage show, that kind of makes more sense, but even in close-up, it's kind of like, and I wanted to bring this up today. There was a Di Vernon quote. He says, like, how are you coming into the effect and how are you getting out? That's something very important to consider. How are we coming in and how are we coming out? It's almost like a dance or a Bruce Lee kind of Taekwondo kind of thing. And having those utility items, like you say, the purse or a coin box or something can be a good aid to help you know, okay, this is how I'm going to introduce this, and this is how I'm going to clean it up, that kind of thing.
Man, that's a deep quote. What book is that out of, Caleb?
Which one?
The Vernon quote.
I don't know, but I mean, I don't remember where I saw it.
Okay.
But I think
add it to the comments later if you can research it. I mean, is that Vernon's quote specific or is that paraphrased?
I think that's Vernon's. Apparently, that's Vernon's quote. If you look at online, you can find Vernon's quote there. But I think he might have actually been quoting somebody else, if I remember the story right.
Okay.
But I'm not 100% sure. And
he might have been quoting Marla.
I
don't know.
Probably so.
Probably.
Sure wasn't Marlowe's quote? Are you sure it wasn't Marlowe's?
It might have been Marlowe's quote. That was good. But I think for some the name Michael Skinner comes up in mind, but that might not be him. But I did want to mention him anyways because he was one of those guys you were talking about earlier that just has like a bunch of material. Like he could just blow through tons of stuff. But for a guy like that too, transitions are very important.
Yeah.
There you go.
I think so. Rick, we about to say something, or I had something to say on that?
No, go ahead.
Okay. I just reminded of something when I was studying anthropology, and they talk about different cultures about when does death happen? When is somebody dead? It's kind of a rhetorical question, I guess, but you guys can answer that. And the answer to some cultures, more tribal cultures, someone is dead when the tribe stops speaking their name.
Ooh.
Only then. Because otherwise they're still alive in the memory. And that chief, that person, that husband, that wife, that child, they're always alive as long as the tribe is still speaking their name and talking about them and telling stories. They're still alive. They're still with them. And so I was thinking about what you're saying there. How do you get out of the trick? And isn't that what you want, is the audience to still be keeping that trick alive by telling the legend and talking to their friends afterwards and remembering about what that magician did and how. And so getting out of the trick is important, because that's what matters, or not whether the magician will keep telling the audience member will keep telling the story. And if you stay alive, and if you're remembered, and if you're a performer passing out the business cards and, you know, gigging out, that's an important thing.
For sure.
So, remember how to get out of the trick, how, and it's not just getting out of the trick, it's how to keep it going, right? You know, that's what I'm trying to say there.
Right. And I want to point out, before we change the topic from the purse, I want to point out that some pseudo magician asks, is there any suggestion for keeping the coins from turning black in the wallets?
Is that happening in a traveler wallet? Because I'm not aware of that.
It might just be in general.
Yeah,
but you guys kind of have some.
If anything, so my wallets are suede to the inside, not on the outside. So that suede, if anything, is acting a little bit like a micro cleanser. So it's usually taking off the top layer of dirt or oils. That's why if you look at this traveler here, how matted down is, that's from my oils and my skin over years and years and years, make it kind of shiny. Whereas here's a brand new, it's in red. That's all right. Oh, here we go. Here's a really old early traveler. It's kind of got that green leather. This is a first edition. You can see the difference. This wallet right here started like this one. They would have looked the same 10 years ago.
So it's almost like you're polishing them as you're putting them in and out of the thumb.
Yeah, so at this point, there's nothing going on really with the coins. There's no interaction, probably because the oils in my skin are probably just like packed in there, the dirt and everything from years and years of use. But yeah, I'm not familiar with my coins, my wallets doing that. Now a cheaper inferior wallet, I'll stop there.
I also want to point out here, Tomer can't stop laughing because the thumb tip thing, and there was it was great. There was a question earlier about the thumb tip that I thought was really good. I thought maybe we could let's see if I can find it. If we could just maybe get some suggestions, because I don't think this is really the time and place to kind of talk tons of thumb tip stuff, but I can't find it right now. But somebody said basically,
where's the Copeland thumb tips live stream?
Yeah. It said, like, what would you do with the thumb tip? I can't think of anything but the hanky vanish. Do we just have maybe some resource we could point somebody to? Because you were saying Darwin has like 50 tricks with a thumb tip or something.
Yeah, there's like an old pamphlet. He has a VHS tape or VHS tape. I think it was a DVD. It might have been even a 2-part DVD where he was just at this bar in Las Vegas just jamming with a thumb tip, if I remember right. It was on Penguin. It was like an early Penguin release, maybe. Or E-Illusion. It had to have been Penguin. It was like back in the day, one of the first videos that Penguin like pushed, I think. But yeah, there's lots of resources out there. But Rick, you can talk on it. I personally, unless if I'm performing, like I used to go to the children's hospital and stuff, I used to carry a D-light. I use a D-light all the time. Oh man, take the kids with the light up shoes, just pull the light off their shoe. Oh, so good every day. Elevator buttons. Oh, just pull the light out of the elevator button at the hospital. That was the best thing ever.
But believe it or not, I mean, for anybody watching, I know you guys probably know, but there's a lot of good coin magic with thumb tips too. And one of my personal favorites is David Williamson's rebate pin. Oh man, if anybody can find that, go through David Williamson's stuff. Rebate pin uses a thumb tip in a way you wouldn't expect. They never know that's even. It's nothing like a change or anything like that. It's just a really good routine that you could carry in your pockets.
Very
versatile.
Hey, Rick, real quick, tell us something. Answer his question, because I always have one for kid shows, and I'm doing Hank Vanish. That's the main thing I'm doing, or Vanish, small paper.
I'm not certain, but there's this series of DVDs, World's Greatest Magic. There might be one on the thumb tip. This is for Card Warp. But they made this series of like, there's one for Coins Across, there's ones for other gimmicks. There might be one on the thumb tip. You can do bill switches with the thumb tip. I highly recommend this book, Switch, which is like a billion variations on the bill switch, some with the thumb tip.
I still can't believe how big that book is on that one topic.
This book here,
a powerful fact.
Seemingly impromptu, from Michael Kaminskis. There's a handful of thumb tip tricks in here that are way outside the box.
Oh, I use one of them in my show. I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's one with Skittles.
That's the one I use in my show.
Yeah.
That's a good trick.
Well, the whole book is about routines that seem to be impromptu. So if you had a thumb tip on you, you could do a trick like in the grocery store or whatever with a bag of candy. There's another one where you could levitate someone's phone or your own phone, which is the concept behind that is it's like, why didn't I think of that? But that's a great little book. And I mean, on topic for what we're talking about, everyday carry stuff. So if you can make stuff seem impromptu or unprepared, well, while I'm on that topic, I also recommend Gregory Wilson's stuff.
Man, we got a list of stuff on the site, Rick.
I had this set out, but
we need to do something
once I got
called
on
like
the topic of impromptu,
you
like
got to put some affiliate links below.
yeah, we need something called like Rick's. Like we know, bring back Blockbuster as like Rick's Buster, and like you just rent Rick's DVDs. Like what the heck? Oh man, that's awesome.
But that's other thumb tip stuff you can do, and
there's some good coin stuff in that Gregory Wilson stuff too.
There is. There's some great stuff, and it's foundational stuff. I would say even at this point, I would highly recommend the Greg Wilson stuff.
There's a lot of mentalism concepts that a thumb tip could help you out with if you kind of just give it some thought. You can accomplish a lot of switches with a thumb tip. So you can even do mentalism. So
oh yeah, and Tomer mentioned also that the Dave Bonsall idea with he vanishes a ring and stuff. There's so many ideas where people have modified this gimmick and doing all sorts of things. So we just wanted to give you a little bit of a taster there. So go explore and just carry it around with you, just like we're talking about. It's a good utility item to have with you at all times. I'll tell you real quick one more thing on that, if you don't mind. That was kind of funny. I had a good buddy of Magic that would do what Rick is talking about, where he would secretly, or basically what Rick did, he would have a thumb tip on just in daily life, just for the kind of confidence in this, that he could go up to somebody and shake their hand with the thumb tip on and nobody would ever notice. And he would just do that all day long. You know, he's doing little mini effects for himself, but it shows you the confidence of getting used to your props. And it's just another way to get used to your props.
I try to do that while palming. So
that's another good, exactly. 100%. Yeah. 100%.
Hey, we're running out of time. Can I share one final thing?
Yeah, but right before that, we got one question that's pretty pertinent. He said, Warrior Poet says, I'm new to Coin Magic. Rick has shown me a lot. I live in Houston and still haven't visited Jeff. He says, do you allow walk-ins? I could use some pointers.
So you can email me. Sometimes I meet up with guys. I'm in town multiple times a week in Houston for my son's therapy appointments. That's usually when I try to squeeze people in. If you were to come in the studio right now, you would be a little unimpressed. Let me tell you, it's boxes of products and boxes of stuff and not much going on. But yeah, DM me or drop me an email at Jeff@Copeland Coins. We can chat. So.
But I wanted to use that as a mention that we're going to be coming to a convention near you.
Absolutely. It's in September. Oh, for me, the Ohio's greatest, the Magi Fest. The Magi Fest. All three of us are going to be there. That's going to be.
We're all going to be there. Yeah, it's going to be great.
So you might see this banner. I'll probably have my other banner, my mountain banner, and we'll have the booth, and you can come by and talk to us and see and feel the new products. What are you waiting for? We're going to be there at the Magi Fest in Columbus, Ohio. It is in middle September. What are we at? The 17th, 18th? 16th, 17th, 18th?
I think it's 15 and 19 maybe or something.
Yeah, I think maybe we're getting there a day early on the 15th, but maybe the convention is 16th, 17th, 18th, I think. Yeah. Check it out. It's put on by Vanishing Ink, and it is one of the greatest conventions in the world. Guys from all over show up. And there's a lot of us coin workers there that make the annual pilgrimage, not COVID included, but the other annual years. It's a good event.
For sure. And James, what are you waiting for?
Yeah, James, we'll see you there, man. Get the shot, and we'll see you there. Yeah, it's a good time.
So you want to share that
speakers.
last little thing, Jeff, before we close out?
Yeah, so we've been talking about what's your everyday carry, and I love the picture that Caleb put up at the pocket and stuff like that. But I just want to challenge you guys with this. What is the greatest thing that you can everyday carry? What is the number one thing that you should always have with you? And I think it's this right here. It's this. It's this. It's this. It's your mind, your heart, your soul. It's your person. It's you. It's who you are. And are you a likable person, or is your character not likable and people like that about you? Or are you entertaining? Are you a human being? Are you relational? Do you love your audience? Do you care about them? Who are you presenting yourself as? That's the number one thing. And so you look at it, you can see this. It's as plain as day. When you go to Las Vegas or you see the advertisements, do you see David Copperfield levitating anymore? Do you see him flying around and performing tricks? No, you just see his face. It says Copperfield. People go to see Copperfield. They don't even read about what the tricks are. They don't know what they're going to see. They go to see Copperfield. And you can see a maturing Chris Angel now. Same thing. Used to is always levitating or doing these spooky things. Now he's cleaned up his hair. It's a new effect. It's Chris Angel, right? You go to see Piff the Magic Dragon. Piff's a little different, right? He's a sorts of prop comic. He wears a dragon suit, but it's only he's the only one with that dragon suit. Anybody else wears the suit? It doesn't work, right? They can copy and they can try. Maybe someday Piff gets old. He decides to retire. He's like the dreaded Pirate Roberts, and he passes on the suit to the next guy, right? But it's still, that person has to find their voice, right? Piff has the greatest job ever. I go to Vegas, we're walking down the streets, and nobody knows who he is because all they see the dragon suit. But that's unique because that's him, and that's what they want to experience. The tricks. It's not about the tricks so much, and so what I'm saying here is not contradictory at all to what Copeland's Coins mission is. Believe me, like, we are here. We're going to sell you and give you the props and the physical stuff. But the things, the intangible is what we can't market, and that's the teaching. That's where Rick worked on SlidePalm and built into it for over a decade worth of work. And so when you support Rick and you buy SlidePalm, you're learning the effect, but you're getting all the stuff that goes in here and everything that comes from Rick out of his heart that's poured out to you guys, right? And when you pick up the Copeland coin box, you're getting a prop, but then you're getting the teaching from Rooster, who spent his life like working on these ideas, and he passes them off in the teaching, and you consume that, and it helps you as a performer and say, I want to do this and I don't want to do that, but I know that works, and thank you, Roo. And so the number one thing that you carry, it's you. So next time someone gets on the Facebook, and it happens every year, it happens probably once a month, once a quarter, somebody says, what's your everyday carry? I want you to say, I am. That's what I want you to say. So you blame it on me. Say, Jeff Copeland says that I am my number one everyday carry. It's me.
Yeah.
And you go out and you perform it. And I'm not knocking our props or saying that they're not valuable, important. So I really hope you understand by purchasing things from Copeland Coins that it supports us, right? This is our job right now. So by buying stuff from us, you're supporting us, and you're advancing the creativity, and we can be here to share these important truths with you, right? The props are very much a part of everything you do. But what's the most important thing? I think it's you. That's what I think it is.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I think if you go through all the little things we talked about today, you can see that these are all stylistic choices. These are all things that depend on who you are, and it's about making the most beautiful version of what you can do and what you want to present. So that's what we're here to help you do.
Yeah, I think that's what makes it the most beautiful, is when you share yourself, when you become vulnerable, when you go out and perform and you let loose with who you are, and you say, that didn't work. That's not who I want to be. I want to be something else. I want to create more beautiful artwork. I mean, so I just encourage you guys to look at that, introspect. And again, we're going to give you the tools and the props and the coins and things like that. But almost every product on Coins, it comes with a video to help teach you. And if you pour in the time to it, that's the kind of stuff it's hard to market. You can't really. That's why we're doing this right now. We're not marketing this. We're sharing of love and joy for the art of magic, and of love and joy for you guys. That's why we're here. So so I hope you can continue to support us, because that's our mission.
Yeah, and I hope that resonates with all you guys. I think that's fantastic. You know, share these links. We haven't talked about this before, excuse me. We haven't talked about this before. My mind was running faster than my mouth. But share this link to this YouTube video and our YouTube channel with your other magicians. You know, that way it can help develop more and more conversation about this. You know, obviously we're just having conversations about making magic better. You know, it's almost like a little club meeting here every week, almost, where we're just like having a topic and talking about things and engaging with you guys that way. So we hope it's valuable, and we hope you'll keep joining us next week at 12 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be here again, new topic, and submit your performance routines, things like that. Any questions, any ideas that you have for topics, and we'd love to continue on this journey with you guys. So with that, I think we'll probably close it out.
All right, guys. Thank y'all. Take care.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
See you next week.